Hello. 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 Can you hear me? It looks like my audio is very low, so I'm trying to figure that out real quick. I don't know even know if you can hear me.
All right, let's see if this works. Can you hear me better now? All right, it looks like that worked. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I got notes. This is gonna be a gonna be an interesting one. Let's see. Where are my notes? Okay, I got my notes up. So obviously, this is a hot topics chat where I go into something that has been talked about recently in the hobby and um, say my opinions on it. I think I've done this once or twice before. I think once. Um, but I think that I'm especially suited for this topic, uh, which is being a woman in the hobby. Um, I saw that. Let's pull up her. Freshwater ichthyology. I saw her video. Let's see. I can't type fast. Hold on. I saw her video, and then I saw a Skeptical Aquatics video. Well, it was more like a live stream, wasn't it? All right. So I saw Freshwater Ichthyology's video, and I saw a Skeptical Aquatics live stream talking about the same topic, right? Which is basically women in the hobby, right? So this isn't like a direct response to anybody's video. It's just like I saw those videos and I was inspired, especially like with what month it is. I was always going to do this kind of video, but live stream video, however you want to call it. Um, I think I linked Freshwater Ichthyology's video and I linked Skeptical Aquatics um, YouTube channel because I didn't want to go through and find the the live stream where he talked about it. So you're gonna have to find that on your own. I will link the video in the description after the stream. But before we jump into that topic, I want to get all the beginning stream stuff out of the way and give you a fair warning that this isn't going to be what you think it is. Thanks, Laura. Laura's Aura. This isn't going to be what you think it is. It is going to be my opinion, right? So again, it's not going to be a response to anybody's video or how they feel or what they said exactly, right? So their opinions are theirs and their experiences are theirs. My experiences are mine and my opinions are mine, right? So I'm not making this video to be like, oh, these people are wrong or oh, these people are right, right? Just coming on here to talk about how I feel about the situations and how I feel as a woman in the hobby, right? Okay. Let me go through the chat before I start deep diving. I wrote out notes and everything. I'm going to have to check that out. We talked about it for a few minutes on Saturday when I had Jody and Bougie up talking about their future live stream endeavor. Very cool to see more women coming into the hobby. Laura posted the link that I have now copied so I can put in the description. Especially since Rachel O'Leary mostly left. I heard that she recently did another video. Okay. At this time, I want to say that there are many amazing women out in our community, especially, right, out here taking care of their fish and doing good things for the hobby. And I'd love to list them all, but I need a list. There was so many, right? And but I think that we all kind of know who they are, right? Since they're always around live streams or doing their own things. So I want to talk a little bit about like my personal opinions and stuff. So I went around and asked a couple of people what their questions would be, and I did a little bit of research and tried to see like some things, and then of course I watched the other videos. Um, she did, but it was about her big tank breaking the center brace. She also did a quick and dirty plant tub / bog thing she's putting together. That's actually really cool. I'm gonna have to watch that. So the first thing I want to talk about is how there might be a general consensus that women have different preferences in fish or how they approach the hobby or if they're even actually like in the hobby or if they're just keeping fish, right? Um, for me personally, um, I keep small fish, right? And um, I think that's been um, falsely, right, put out there as something that most women do, right? But we definitely have um, we definitely have people who don't like women that don't keep small fish, and I also think that like a lot of men, especially like male aquascapers, keep really small fish. Um, so I don't think it's a gender preference. I do think that it is like a stylistic or like aesthetic preference to have small fish. I do think that a lot of women, um, after the houseplant craze during 2020 to 2023, got into, or during that time also got into fish tanks and liked planted tanks. And they made these beautiful scapes and put small fish in them. And the people in general put these up online where we can see them, right? So they put themselves out in the public eye. And a majority of the women who do share online have shared that type of content. So I think that it is more of a what we see and not necessarily what is true. Um, Monster Fish Girl and Only Oscars are definitely not small fish keepers. They, although they do have some small tanks. Exactly. So I think that like there might not be a lot of women who share tanks. Um, I think that goes directly into my point, saying that I don't think there's a lot of women who share their big tanks, but there's definitely a lot of them out there. I just don't think that they're coming onto YouTube or Instagram doing like the cutesy aesthetic things. Um, that's my opinion on that, right? So like, I think that that has been like falsely attributed to women that almost all women or all women um, keep small fish, right? I think that is a stereotype, right? Uh, I do not think it's true. Again, for me, I love big fish. I love small fish. Smaller fish are easier to keep for me right now, but I don't know if some of y'all have seen it in a couple of live streams that I've talked in this past couple of days. I was at the fish store and I saw an 18-inch Oscar, an albino Oscar, and it was magnificent. If I could have taken it home, I would have hauled that big chunker right in my car and taken it home. But I didn't have a tank for it. So unfortunately, I did not get the giant Oscar. But I would love to have the giant Oscar, you know what I mean? But as you're looking right now, I have small fish. I have Medaka. I have a lot of Medaka. I have some live uh, tetras, coolie lunches. Uh, what else do I have? I don't know. I have fish, snails. I have snails too. You see them? You can see them in my tanks. Um, Katie Cichlids doesn't necessarily keep nano fish either. I agree with you. Lady Metalhead Jess is another example of a lady who isn't afraid to keep the bruisers. I think big fish are awesome. I only have small fish, but I don't have a dedicated fish room in this house, so I'm currently limited by that. See, I do think that women in general are more realistic. I don't think that typically a woman would replace their TV with a fish tank, right? Well, I know of men that have, right? Like, no, I kind of want to keep my TV, right? Although a fish tank is probably better for you than a TV. And then I want to touch on why I think women don't come online and talk about fish, right? So I myself have experienced when I went on a live, on a vertical live actually, which typically is the most um, easy to get started with, right? I had strange comments, right? People, I showed my face and people were just talking about my looks. I've had issues where I go out, people don't seem to care about what I say. I talk about things online, people don't seem to care. Um, I don't think that's a problem in the hobby. I think that's just a problem in general, right? I don't think that women are taken seriously. I do think that women are objectified normally, right? I don't think that's necessarily like a big issue technically in the hobby, right? It's an issue in the world, right? But I can see where that would stop a woman from making a video, especially where she shows herself. As you notice, I don't typically show myself on camera, right? Because of those instances. But I still want to share my fish and talk about things. So, and I'm just starting out. So, as I'm more comfortable, I'll probably show my face more. But it's really just easier to talk to y'all like this and instead of when I'm showing my face where people talk about my looks. Now, I've been into um, vertical lives of guys, and people are always comparing them to like other people or talking about their looks or like whatever. So I don't think it's just like a woman thing, but I do think that the comments are different. And I, again, it's a general problem, not a fish hobby problem. Now, going from unwanted objectification to wanted objectification with the stereotype of the sexy, right? Uh, Women in tight clothes who go on and you see their butt first, and then you see the fish tank. Uh, I think that's also something that's holding people back, right? I think that a woman who goes on and sees content from obviously these popular creators because they're showing off their body in certain ways, they think, oh, if I want to show fish on Instagram, I have to show my butt in tight spandex, right? Like that doesn't make the best first impression where you're like, oh, there's another woman who's doing fish keeping. Oh, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. Is that what I have to do to be popular, right? Uh, so it doesn't only uh, take away from women who want to get into sharing things, right? It takes away from the seriousness somebody like me has, and somebody like any of the people that were mentioned, right? Where we sit down and just talk about fish. It's annoying. I get it. Like, good for you. Like, get your money, take care of your fish. I get it. If you have it, show it off. But that is not what I would. And I think that it devalues what I'm trying to do. And it makes other women feel like that's what they have to do to be popular. And that's why I don't like it. Right? There's a time and a place for that. And it's not in this community. Right? If you want to go have your things, there's a website for that. I'm gonna check the comments. Hi, Mike. Yes, the internet has a creepy man problem. It is an internet issue. It's the internet creepy man issue, where people feel like just because they can't be seen and it can't be traced back to them, they can see or they can say whatever they want or do whatever they want. For sure, and they make some of the best content out there for the fish community. Tiny Menagerie and Nerdy Fish Girl, just to name a couple. Do you feel like you are more pigeonholed into doing nano tanks and more microfish for some reason? I actually just talked about that earlier. No, I don't. I think that women are shown more doing nano tanks and microfish and nano fish, small fish and shrimp. I think that's just shown more because it's aesthetic and part of like the aquascaping like aesthetics instead of like the rest of fish keeping, right? That's like a specific genre that gets views and clicks and pretty tanks, small fish. It's just shown more. So I don't think that it's actually that more women are into small fish and nano tanks. I think it's just shown more, right? Okay. I do want to talk a little bit about what I think that women bring into the hobby, right? So specifically things that women are really great at doing. I'm not saying that men aren't, right? But typically when I think of a woman in fish keeping, I think of a person who really respects and cares for their fish. I think about somebody who wants to do what's right for their fish. I think of somebody who researches a lot and takes into account how do I say this? Takes into account like what the fish would want, right? Not just like aesthetics or keeping the fish for whatever reason, right? So I think that women are more nurturing as well. I'm not saying that men aren't, right? But I think this is like something, especially that women do really well in the hobby, is to look at the fish themselves and the environment that they live in and creating environments that the fish feel happy in, right? That's what I do. And I know a lot of other women that are like that, right? I know some men that are like that too. Uh, and again, I'm not saying that men do not like their fish. I'm just saying that this is something that I think that women do really well. Um, on the opposite end of that, there are the Beta Cup ladies, right? The ladies that I see this again in like the younger, like 15 to 21. I see these girls, they put like betas in like vodka bottles. I saw that a lot on TikTok in the past few years. And they keep them in like little jars and they don't do any research. and they get upset when they die, right? So there is definitely like a spectrum, but there's always room for improvement. People who how the people take care of their fish, right? But I think that there's a lot of women that do this really well, and I think that that's something that they could bring um, to the hobby, right? In general, in a great way, not a gatekeeping way either. Speaking about gatekeeping, um, there's a lot of bad advice in fish keeping. Uh, well, I think that's that instead of focusing right on gender, we should be thinking about gatekeeping, bad advice, false information like from AI, and the lack of science that we have, right? So when you try and find something and like back up the proof that you've been seeing, there's not a scientific study for it, right? Um, and these are very much issues. I talked about AI in last week's stream and how like it could be helpful, but it's also not perfect. But also, I talked about like we went through and we asked ChatGPT some questions last week, and they were okay, not bad, the best. We also briefed on like AI photos and how they're misleading. We talked about Google AI and how it's blatantly steered people in the wrong direction. Um, there are people out there, the better people, the better people. The, you can't keep your better fish in a 5 gallon tank. That's cruel. Like, okay, but like where, like the line? Where is the line for where you're supposed to keep fish? Like, are you supposed to keep them in a 5 gallon tank? Are you supposed to keep your betta in a 5 gallon tank? Are there any fish that should be in a 5 gallon tank, right? Um, a lot of that information is geared towards beginners. I think that I say this almost all the time. It should be my catchphrase. Just because it's said for beginners doesn't mean it should apply to everyone, especially experienced fish keepers who understand the nitrogen cycle. They understand the fish that they've been keeping. They've been keeping them for years. They've been experimenting with what does and doesn't work. And it's great to care and what's best for the fish. But at the end of the day, there are people that know more than you do. And finding something that somebody told you and getting challenged on it does not make it okay to harass people, right? There is a difference between passion and gatekeeping and being rude, right? Uh, Again, also there's bad advice. People are just misinformed. Again, there's lack of science, right? There's lack of scientific studies on things that we want to know or things that we see, right? And we can't back that up. But again, with experience comes this wealth of knowledge, right? So, especially like for example, I specialize in the Medaka, right? So those are my thing. But I have vague knowledge of how cichlids work, right? Um, and I can steer somebody in the right direction for so long, right? Like with basic information. But I would rather be like, hey, this person has had cichlids for 5 years. They're probably a better source. So if I say something like, oh, this cichlid should go in this size tank, right? And then this person who's had cichlids for 5, 10 years comes and go, actually, no, they're fine in this size tank. I've had them in this size tank for a long time. I haven't seen any like deformities. I haven't seen any stress. They're able to turn around, eat. There's no deformities or like what is it called when you keep a goldfish in a bowl and it gets like deformed. What is that word? What is that word? It's gonna come to me. or randomly later. I'm gonna be up trying to go to sleep. I'll be like, it's that word. I'm sure you will. Um, but yeah, there. But if that person is like, yes, this has done, the fish is healthy, happy. This is the proof, right? Like, I would much rather that the person that was asking me a question listen to the person that has more experience on that specific subject than I do, right? Also, there's disagreements because of lack of science, right? We don't, and we have to remember biases and bad science, lack of science, right? There's a bunch of stuff that we need to keep in mind when we're researching something or looking into what we do and trying to improve ourselves, right? Uh, I think that these topics, right? Bad advice, false information, lack of science, bad science are much more important topics than women and men in fish keeping, right? Okay. That being said, let's go back onto the topic and go. There are really great women in the hobby, right? And they do not get the recognition that they deserve for challenges that I talked about earlier, right? We don't see them in social media, but because we don't see them in social media, why don't we see them in talks, right? Why don't we see them in talks? There's female marine biologists, there's female ichthyologists. Why aren't they getting brought up on big panels? And I mean, for every like 100 men, I see two women. Why is that? Next time you go to your local club or you go to an event about fish keeping, I want you to take like just notice how many women do you see speaking? Have you ever seen a woman speaking at a club or another event? And was it a well-known figure like Diana Walstead, right? Or was it like somebody lower, or I don't want to say lower. That's it insinuates something wrong. Like somebody less popular, somebody less recognizable. Because I see like really popular, more recognizable men. I see less popular, recognizable men get all these talks, and I don't see the same thing with women. All I see is maybe like out of the five women that I've seen do talks and make appearances on things, fish clubs, big events. Um, Majority of the time, it's like Diana Walstead or somebody from that community, right? That like has worked really hard and became popular in her own right to be able to get there. Where I don't see the same with men. I really think that like as a community, we should look at people specifically. We should look at women and be like, okay, why are you going on? Is it something that you don't want to do? Is it that you've never been asked? Is it because you don't do social media? Do you do social media and have too small of a following? What is it? What is that? What is the reason? Is it because of the societal pressures that maybe women don't know as much as men? I don't know. But I will really want to go. If you take one thing away from this video, is to think about how many women speakers you've seen at events and other things. So for anyone out there that might watch this and are wondering, should I enter hockey? Should I start keeping fish? So should I start posting my fish? Should I do a blog, right? Yes. Yes, you should. Yeah, definitely. 100% do it. I think that coming in, even despite the difficulties, coming in and making videos, doing live streams, talking about fish has been so much fun, right? It's like that feeling where like you find a person and you get to geek out on something that you love, right? And you get that more often than you don't, right? There's so many people who are welcoming and just want to nerd out on fish with you, right? And there's a lot of learning curves in the hobby, and there's a lot of learning curves on how to share your hobby with everyone, right? And it's fun. And I think that there are so many of you out there that have amazing information and insight and are not doing it because of all the difficulties. But I can tell you that the difficulties are worth it, and just jump in. The water's fun. The most important thing in fish keeping is enjoying it and doing it because it makes you happy. Learning about your fish, watching your fish, for whatever reason you got into the hobby. It's the most important thing, right? You should encourage people, help each other, be respectful, even if you disagree, and continue being passionate about the things that you love. That's what's going to continue to make this hobby a great place for everyone. I'm going to go get some water. Let's see. Put on some music now. Or comments or anything. I'll check the chat when I get back. got my water. Doesn't seem like too many people are in here right now. That's all right. I know it's Sunday. Other people are streaming. We'll just hang out for a little bit. Maybe somebody's getting caught up. I'm gonna check on my end on my phone and see if there's anything else I missed. Do y'all have any women in the hobby that you like or look up to? If you're in the chat, let me know. If you're in the replay, give me a comment about how do you call it? Give me a comment about who you look up to in the fish community that is a woman. I don't know. I guess I'll talk about random things for a little bit. I've been watching random woodworking videos, and I want to put like a front, like fake cabinet, real cabinet thing on the front of my cement block tanks. I think that would be so much fun. I looked into it, and I guess like I can put like little strips of wood so I can still take it apart on each of the cement blocks and screw like a strip of wood in to the cement blocks, just so I can hang the doors, and then I can make like a false surrounding, and I can like paint or stain it however I want, and then it would look nicer than the cement blocks. I think that sounds really fun. Women in the hobby I look up to are the real ones. Exactly. There's so many of them. Only Oscars, Mystic Pets, and you. Thank you. I don't know. There's some topics I didn't get deep into, but like I was trying to figure out how I was going to talk about them, but sometimes things are better left unsaid. We need more of us. There's a definite need for more of us. Real ones, that is. It doesn't even have to be women. You just have to be chill enough. I'm so sick of fake. Get the bag, do what you need to do, but remember why you did it. Remember why you're in the hobby. Be a jerk. We don't need more jerks in the hobby. We don't need more gatekeepers in the hobby. We don't need more AI bros in the hobby either. Yeah. There's a lot of us here. I think that there's a lot of good people around that could make a difference. I got into the hobby for the fish. I got into YouTube to share my hobby with people. I got into the hobby because I love animals, right? Like I've always loved animals. I've been around fish my whole life, or reptiles, fish, like my whole life. I got into YouTube because I wanted to make videos about things that I was always getting asked by people in the groups that I was in. I thought it was going to be much easier. Make a video on a topic once and send it to people, right? So my intention was never to do like this big thing. And then I saw everybody like amazing people like going out and talking and just like talking, right? Like, this is what I'm doing. These are my fish. Not necessarily trying to sell me anything or being fake about things. Like, you know, like when you think of like, ooh, that's an influencer. Like, there's a difference between influencers and people who like review things for money or for the product or whatever, right? I want to see that you're still passionate about what you're doing and not just trying to hawk me things all the time, right? And that's the difference. Like if every single one of your videos or live streams you're trying to sell me something, and I'm not talking about like I'm sponsored by this person. Like, okay, cool. Like you got your bag. That's great. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm sure anybody who watches YouTube in or out of the hobby knows the type of people that I'm talking about. I don't want to see the thing that you just bought and you're telling me that I have to buy it and you love it. You just took it out of the box. What do you mean you love it? That's not authentic. No. I don't like that kind of stuff, right? Get your bag, but don't be gross. I got into YouTube to convince my mother I do productive things in my downtime. Did it work? Raccoons are my spirit animals. I love raccoons, but I like what are they called? Hold on. What are they called? Tanuki. I love tanukis. They look like raccoons. But they're so fluffy and cute. I love them. I will save any animal I see in need of help. I will try. I'm not going to put myself in danger to save an animal. But I will call people who will. You sell yourself on every live stream. You're trying to convince people to watch your channel. Yes. And that is completely different than being inauthentic and just trying to get money from the people that watch you and being disconnected from what got you here in the first place, right? I see it especially on like super large channels with like millions of subscribers. Not necessarily in the hobby, but it can be. So far, so good. That's great. Raccoons are my sister's favorite animal. Happy. I personally could live with them running off with my bird feeders less. I could. There's this person who has a problem with raccoons taking all of his batata. Hi, Jared. Have you ever saw the Tanuki? That's a dog. Aren't they cute? That's a Tanuki. A raccoon versus a Tanuki. Tanukis are adorable. I love them both. I had to show y'all that. I think they're cute. Okay. Hi, Ashley. I don't like channels where the focus is on the woman's assets instead of her knowledge. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier, where like I get it, right? I get it. It gets the clicks, it gets the follows, it gets the money, but it really, first of all, it puts off people who don't want to do that. It gives a wrong impression to women who want to come into like this part of the hobby and sharing their hobby, that they have to do that, and it devalues the people that don't do that, right? Love your channel name, Ashley. It's great. I like this. Hold on, I'll pull it up. It's a great name. It reads like, hold on, let me pull it up again. It reads like a first name, last name. I like it. Yes, they're very attractive, but they have more worth than that. Yes. We're like an hour into the stream. So I want to see your fish tanks, not your ass. Thanks. I really wish they didn't do that. Please stop. I get it. I get it. I get it. Like, I really do. I get it. But please fucking stop. Please. It's not cute. I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, I get it. Get your clicks, get your views, get your money. But stop. I want to respect you as a person. I want to respect you for your knowledge. I want to see how nice your tanks are. And I want to see your ass. And the people that do don't care about your fish. They don't care about your fish tanks. They don't care about what you're saying. And I get it. It works. But they don't care about you as a person. They don't. It's all right. I also didn't pace myself well enough, and I talked about everything that I wanted to talk to in like 30 minutes. There's a time and a place to see someone's ass. Yes, there is. It's called OnlyFans. You want to open up OnlyFans with fish content? Go ahead. You want to clean fish tanks for people and you want to get paid to do that? Perfect. Not here. Please. There's children here. Hold on. There's children and families that watch YouTube. There's a website for that. where you can make sure that content is seen by adults. Everything's messed up. I'm new to the fishy part of YouTube and working on my first video, partially because I want to see more women's content that's watchable. Yes. Yes. Also, hold on. Subscribed. Let me turn the notifications on. Actually, I just subbed to your channel. Me too. Video of my tanks coming possibly tomorrow. It's almost done. Editing is harder / more time consuming than I thought. It is. That's why I do live streams. I'm working on longer form videos, but dang, is editing a learning curve. I've been watching video tutorials. I paid $150 to take classes. That's not just one class, but multiple classes on like video editing. Like one was for movies, one was for like YouTube and other like longer form content, and the other one was for like shorts editing. And oh my goodness, it's so much of a learning curve. The Medaka just got freaked out by something. I don't know what. Once I have 50 subs, I'll be into the live streaming. I've also considered taking classes. Do you think it was worth it? No, I don't think it was worth it. Also, you can live stream before 50 subs with Restream. You can start live streaming right now. I think that you can learn everything that I learned by watching YouTube videos on the same subject. Funny enough, I'm a graphic designer by trade. The editing is the only part of the content creation I like. That's awesome. I love graphic designers. I do some graphic design, but I'm mostly a fine art artist. Hello, George. People are saying hi. I accidentally clicked on a video on my phone. I'm glad that I muted my phone. But I'll really quick, since more people are coming in, obviously you can go back to the beginning of the video. I think like well, I'll finish that bonus. Yeah, girl, I saw the fish that you did for Stephen Pete. Very nice. Thank you. That fish was really annoying. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I accidentally liked my own Instagram photo. Hold on. Here's no one that. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see these, but I drew this. That's a Medaka. I drew this. The quality that I uploaded this at was so bad. There's actually like a line here that's like not like a line like this, but like a separation of color that just didn't show up. Kind of like this down here, or this right here. But they're supposed to be like a line of separation. I don't think I posted any more art yet. But I do commissions too. So if you're interested, if you've seen the one that I did for Stephen P, if he didn't win it and he bought it from me, I probably would have charged like $40, $50 for it. But it depends on the complexity of the fish. So like that one had very prominent scales that took me a very long time to do. I think that whole piece took me about 2.5 weeks to do. Or something like the Frontosa on my Instagram. It took me about a week, right? So that was the scales took a long time. What program are you using? I use Procreate on my iPad. The coolies. The coolie loaches are modeled after 2 of my coolie loaches that passed away. Very cute. That was like a memorial for them. I have 8 more. Thank you. I try. I do also. That's like a digital print. I do offer shipped canvases, but that costs extra and does shipping. So I try to keep things fair. I know, like, art is a luxury, and non-fish things I do charge more for, but you know how it goes. It all depends on how long it takes me. Sorry, I had to do the nightly routine with the furry children. If they don't get their walk in their food, they won't sleep. I get that. My dog went out around, what was it, 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I'll probably take her out, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, what? What time is it? 11:22. I'll probably take her out right before I go to bed then. That's what I typically do. What's the shipping policy on your fish? Do you do next day air when the weather is good? I do overnight shipping on my fish through FedEx. And I only ship when the weather is good. So no freezes, no hurricanes, no very hot weather. So like heat waves. And so yeah, it would be overnight via FedEx. The eggs, on the other hand, when I sell Medaka eggs, I do 2-day shipping on those. They can handle it. So for a live fish, I do overnight. For eggs and snails, I do 2-day. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, let me check back up on the comments. Talked about shipping policy. So this is where we are. I have a German Shepherd and a Jack Russell Terrier. I have, what are you? You're a Chiweenie? Yeah. I have a Dachshund Chihuahua. Very interested in the Medaka you have. We can stay in touch through email. This is my first attempt breeding in a bare bottom tank. I hope it goes well. I should be fine. They like the little scrubby sponge doodad things, the mops. They do not like the yarn mops. They will go in there and they will die. They suffocate. Do not use them. Oh, that is glitching. Let's see if I can fix that. Well, I just posted the link. You don't have to come up, or I mean, you don't have to come up, but if you want to, you can come up. And as always, you don't have to show your face. I don't. So you can just be a voice if you want to. Like I said on Skeptical, I'm planning on using free floating guppy grass in a sponge filter. It will be species dedicated, so should I still remove the egg? Okay. When you're first starting a colony, if you're getting like live fish from me, this probably won't be an issue because I typically don't pull eggs, right? But if you're getting a person that does pull eggs, you're going to have to pull the eggs because they will eat the fly. I've seen a lot less fry eating when they're colony fed. I will say the guppy grass is fine if it's in thick mats, and if it's not, like if it's at the top or mid-water, they will lay the eggs on your sponge filter, and they will get gross, like slimy. It's not like the typical like fuzz that's on eggs. It's like closer to what looks like a clear cyanobacteria, right? It's like really slimy and breaks apart when you try and touch it. It's gross. I don't recommend letting them lay on the sponge filter. I've never had luck in that. If they do not like the guppy grass, what they do like in the wild, they don't lay on plants. They scrub against the bottom. So they actually like go to the bottom of the tank and like a riverbed, I mean, or like a brook or a rice paddy where they originate from, and they'll scrub themselves on the bottom of on the ground. They'll scrub themselves to get rid of the eggs. And then the reason why they're sticky is because they kind of stick to whatever. So if you're not using substrate, you're going to have something that is on the ground, like Java Monks, or like I like what is it called? The like grass shrubby plants. You can put them in like a little planter, or just weigh them down individually, as long as they don't like move around too much. If they can scrub on that plant, and then the eggs will hatch, and the fry will hide in the plant. Actually, if you look to the left side, I think on that plant, they absolutely like the eggs in that plant. It's this is what it's called. I'll type it. That's the name of the plant. Okay, so a Java moss mat wouldn't be a bad idea. That was my other way of thinking. And what pH and water temperature do you typically keep them at? I have hard water and high pH, and that doesn't affect them. I think it's about, last time I checked, right? But it was before the big water change. It was at about, what was it? Seven something. Wait, look at the picture. It was at like 7.8. It typically stays between 7.4 to 7.8 when I test it. Oh, it was 7.4 before I did the water change. I think now it should be at like a 7.8. A Java mouse mat would not be a bad idea. Water temperature, as long as it's above 65 degrees. And unless you want short bodies, I would keep it below 85. So between 65 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That's that plant. That's that plant over there. Good night, Laura. I hope you have a great night. I think it's 3D printer. So it's a lot like microsort. I have a lot of that growing in my other plants. Things that would be easy to bring some over. Yeah, they really like that, like tall grass-like plant, like microswords in this Areocolon SP Vietnam. Bushy plants. When I hide this, you can see the original thing. Okay, maybe you can't. Right under here is the crypt parva, and I had some dwarf hairgrass that just with water changes floated to the top that I took out. I actually have it in like a little box now because it keeps it needs sand to weigh it down. It does not do well in the aqua soil without something on top of it. But yeah, they really like to scrub against something. So even if you're doing bare bottom, which is great, if you just weight down something that they can scrub against, they really prefer that over to like floating plants like some other fish. gonna head out too. It was nice talking with you, CCU. We'll stay in touch through email when the weather gets better. Let's totally make a deal. What were you thinking price range, if you don't mind? Okay. So it depends on the ones that you want. So the red caps are one of my most expensive Madakas. Red caps are $20 per fish. The Yukihis are like $15-ish a fish, depending on how many you get. The platinums are 10. The blue eyes are like 12. It all depends on how many you get, right? But I only have the red caps available right now. And I do have a person that is also interested, so I want to see what they say and if they follow through. If not, then you're the second person that has shown interest in them. So, I don't mind saying I'm pretty open about my prices. They're pretty standard prices. So. My red caps are a little bit cheaper than other people's. I've seen like people okay. I do want to say that red caps are expensive because they do not breed true. So this is like a ornamental fish for fun. Because you like the look of them. Red caps will produce platinums, yukihis, and maybe red caps, maybe. But typically they will produce yukihis and platinums. So please, before you get them, the reason that they're expensive is because it's really hard to breed them. It's heavy culling. And no, you don't kill them. They're still platinums and yukihis. They're just not the ones that you want. So I guess it would be sorting. But yes, please understand that they're not great breeding. They're great fish. And they'll make beautiful yukihis and platinums. But they won't make more red caps. I'm not going to guarantee that for anybody who gets the red caps. Like 5%, if I'm being like generous, it's probably about 5% or red caps. And then 50-50 for yukihis and platinums. Okay, thank you so much for being honest, really. And I've noticed what you say on other people's live chats. I like the way you carry yourself in public forums. Thank you. I don't think that there's any reason not to be honest, especially about things that I'm selling. I want people to be passionate about Medaka just like I am, and I want to share these for people who don't have access to them. They're really wonderful little fish, and you know, it's great. I like the little fish. All right, y'all. It's almost midnight here, so I think I'll go for another like 15 minutes, even if it's just like hanging out and watching the fish. But Wednesday, I'm doing a live stream right after Dan's Fish. We're gonna be talking about, I don't know. I still haven't picked a book yet. I'm probably gonna pick one of the smaller ones or go through. I went through the medical book, and it's just I'm going to have to like either split the stream in half because okay, so after Dan's Fish, I have an hour and a half before New Local Austin goes live. So I really think to like actually review this book and go through everything. First, I should have the other book that I wanted to kind of compare and contrast. And second, I don't think that it is going to be fair, like to give it a fair shot in an hour and a half, right? It is very involved, and it's very if you need to know this thing, go to this page and then go back to this page, right? So it's gonna, first of all, it's gonna take me a while to read through it and try and like figure out how it works and then come back and talk to y'all about it. So at this point, I don't think that it's going to fit into an hour and a half stream. What I might do is make a video about it and then do a live stream afterwards. But I'd have to read the book first. And I typically read the books in anywhere from the whole week or like 3-4 days. The book that we reviewed this past week, on Wednesday, it took me a day to read. It was very short. I think, I don't know, I have cichlid books, but I don't keep a lot of cichlids. So I need somebody to come on that knows more about cichlids. I'm just dropping everything. Sorry about that noise. There's this book. It's called A Fish Keeper's Guide to African and Asian Catfishes. And I know quite a bit more about catfishes than I do cichlids. It's from 1986, so I think it's a good bit of ways where it would still be really interesting. The cichlid book that I originally read, I think was from the same year. Yeah, so I think that we're going to go through African and Asian catfishes. This one's a little bit shorter. It is 75 pages, including like the introductory stuff. It really starts on page 10, so it's more like 65 pages, really. So it's a shorter book. I know more about catfishes, and I have like 3 days, so I hope that's not going to be a bummer to y'all. I do need to like sit down. I'd also like the other fish diseases book that I was planning on getting. Again, I'm waiting for the newer Diana Wallstead books to get here. I have no idea when it's going to show up. It keeps getting delayed for some reason. So once that shows up and I can go through it, we'll do a review on both of them. So the 3rd edition, and I think this was the 4th. I don't know if the new one's the 4th or the 5th, but we'll see. And then again, Diana Wallstead's book is quite complicated. I think that I will take up the whole hour and a half talking about it. You can see that Medaka, whose eggs are like trailing behind her. They were like half scraped off. I think she's currently trying to fling them off. Sometimes when this happens, I'll take like a pair of like long aquarium tweezers and kind of let her scrape across the tweezers. But I think it hasn't been long enough for me to try and intervene right now. Because I don't think that I saw her like this when I was setting up the camera. I did see that she had a large clutch of eggs though. So sometimes when they have large clutches of eggs, they might have like 8 or 9 eggs at once, and it's like kind of covering more area and gets stuck to the fish a bit more, and they have a little bit of trouble with that, trying to get it scraped off. But I think she's heading towards the hair algae right now, which she'll probably scrub the eggs off onto, which is great for her. Not great for me, because then I have to pick them out and kind of like put them behind something, or take them out and hatch them myself. I don't like hatching the eggs myself. Yeah, I do have a little bit better of luck. But those are late in the day eggs anyways. I really like to harvest eggs, especially if I'm going to be like shipping eggs around noon, because the male Medaka is more potent in the morning. Ashley, did I read your comment? Hold on. I don't know if I did. Yeah, sounds complicated. Yeah, I think that was in reference to the medication or disease book. It is quite a bit annoying. know, it is what it is. All right. Well, okay. So Wednesday, I'll be streaming after Dance Fish, as always. Sunday, I'll be streaming at the same time. I haven't picked a topic for next week yet. If y'all have any ideas, feel free to post them here or in the comments if you're a replay crew. We love the replay crew. It's where I get most of the views on these. Oh, wow. It looks like I'm 20 subscribers away from 200, which means another giveaway is coming up soon. That sounds like so much fun. All right, everyone. I'll be heading out now. Again, next stream is on Wednesday, where we'll be talking about African and Asian catfishes from 1986. And then again, I will have my Wednesday and Sunday streams. Wednesday is after Dance Fish, and Sunday is at 10 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. So, I'll see y'all then. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me and hanging out and watching the fish and talking about cool topics and maybe some not so cool topics, right? All right. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.